Hey everyone, it's HateFoo here, and welcome to the fourth and last episode of teaching you how I play HCF. I really appreciate all the support you guys have shown me, especially since this is a series I've been planning for a while and spent a lot of time on. Let's end off the series with a bang and go for 500 likes, which you guys can easily crush. Also, if you clicked on this video, you might like some of my other ones, so I'd appreciate if you to subscribe and turn on all notifications. Once again, thank you so much for the support lately. I hope you'll enjoy this video, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and let's do this. It might look like I was pigeoning here, but nah. He was a solo on 1DTR I was going to. I tried using a spider trail to prevent him from jumping on his drop down, but I was too slow. I barely made him pot, so there would be no reason for him to refill, meaning he would come up almost right away. Knowing this, I covered up his entire top base with cobwebs and waited for him to come up. I can't believe that worked, but sadly, he made it into his drop down yet again. I'm an idiot, so I accidentally brought 2 teleport bows for some reason. I probably should have paid more attention earlier because I wasn't aware he had these fences, which he caught his fall with. I quickly used the Eye of Mesoid to teleport to him, but he came down his drop down, making it useless. Let me explain. What I was trying to do here is tell him I'm dropping set to get him to open the second layer of fence gates, which would allow me to cross roll and get right in. No idea how that pro didn't work, so I gave up and actually dropped my set this time. I ran a marathon to get to this base, so I was not leaving without a reward. 1 on 1DTR, soon to be raidable. This guy had exposed this trap by building it right next to Wilderness. How embarrassing. I was very confused why he didn't pot because he had so many pots and so much time to do so. And he was in P2 as well. I think that was just a trapping base because this tunnel led to an actual base with chests. As I was looting, I heard thunder, which was indicative of someone dying. It was a 2-man faction trying to steal my raid. I usually like to truce with raid stealers because I'm almost always low on pots, but I was fighting this time. Until his backup arrived. I was so determined in killing these guys that I made every elevator lead them into a 1x1 in hopes that they both chased me up at the same time. They wouldn't chase me though. I went back down and played pretty aggro. I had 1 pot and I wasn't risking my life for this. They still didn't chase me up. I waited a little in hopes of catching one off guard after the other F homes, but I went down and lost them both. Sadly, I think they took most of my raid, but it's fine. Okay, this clip needs a whole backstory. I was on my way to this one base and saw someone running along with me for like 1,000 blocks. I caught on that we were going to the same base because our paths were almost identical. When we were 400 blocks away from this base, this 2-man faction came out and non-stop chased us all the way till we got to the base and still didn't stop there. I didn't record that, by the way, because I was only recording running in bases, but we were eventually caught in a 2v2. I was fighting one pigeon, he was fighting the other. He ended up dying and I swore I'd avenge him. I don't care if it was 2 of them, how much CTR they had, whatever, I just knew I had to avenge my boy. And then I came across their drop down. Like, what am I supposed to do here? They wouldn't respond to messages. Nothing. I crossbowed to the right, knowing the larger area was my best option. I pulled out my teleport bow and was able to shoot his hitbox from this angle. Of course, he decided to fight when I had no pots. You know what? At least I put up a great fight. I should never come across people and assume that they're smart. They finally stopped so I could do my thing. They asked for screenies, and before I could notice, the solo on 1DTR came up and saw it was me because I had taken off my helmet so my invis could go out. By the way, the reason why I don't like people knowing it's me running into their base is because it actually affects how they play. Sometimes it'll benefit me, but they can also start to play very carefully and log off if they're about to go raidable. Just like I said, since he knew it was me, he didn't want to try to trap me, but eventually he got too tempted. I stuck him into his base, but my own spider trail messed me up. At this time, I didn't realize what had happened, but he came out for some reason. I didn't even notice I killed him. I was more intrigued by how someone got in with him. At the time I'm commentating this, I now realize that someone had actually used a teleport bow to get in with him, but also pre-prolled it. He was wearing P1. Poor guy. Not much good loot in this base except a couple stacks of gunpowder and some partner items. As I made my way out, I saw that he said I abused in a public chat. I could see why he said that though, because I was confused by the situation myself. But as you guys saw, no abuse. Originally, I wanted to go to this black and white base, but it looked like someone had beat me to it. I noticed that I was able to lever the fence gates so I could get in. I did my kit builder, grabbed the redstone torches, and placed them right next to the gates. I tried signaling this guy to get out, but he didn't want to listen. I gave up on that base and just started spectating. The neighbor wanted to get in some of the action, so I gave him it. He wasn't loaded TR or anything, I just did this for fun. This guy was surprisingly good, or sorry, not good, but just fast at blocking up, which doesn't take skill. I decided to go down the drop down because I was going to be hit into it eventually. I instantly noticed that I could cross-roll to the full base. That pro didn't work, and I was cutting it close. He would soon notice that I wasn't up there, and he'd come down the drop down. Okay, dude, I'm embarrassing myself. He didn't even jump down. He F-homed instead. I purposely got right next to the fence gates and let him block off the water current. I messaged him GG so he would stop hitting me, and I could try this again. Nah, I was not going up there again. When he came to the drop down, he made it so I couldn't crit him out. I told him I was leaving, and when he didn't notice, I turned around and went full invis. I had to chase him up this time, and it turned out the elevator led outside. He got away and messaged me a bunch of XDs, but he literally forgot that his elevator still led outside. So I hit him back with the same XDs. GG to him. Nice. This guy had a glass box, but decided to make a too high base inside of it so he could trap. Doesn't really matter to me, I'll still run in. I used a spider trail right away, and this was such a good strategy to get him low on pots right off the bat. I knew he was ready to place those blocks back, so I held W right next to the block. almost got a 1-by-1 with him. He forgot to block it, so as soon as he placed a slab, I crossbowed into his base. As soon as he came out looking for me, I hit him with the lasso. This would make it so for the next 10 seconds, he would be constantly pulled towards me. After I made him raidable, I could tell these people outside weren't friendly, so I went to the chest as fast as possible. Didn't even get a chance to look at all the chests when they aggro pro'd on me. What a bunch of weirdos. They even chased me outside of the base. I eventually had to use a Olympus to escape because they were very persistent pigeons. So weird, man. I already knew I was going to have to put up with this trapper having a bard, but when you have an archer and a bard non-stop following you outside the base, it makes this 10 times harder. I was actually more scared of dying to the people outside than to the trapper inside, so as soon as he opened the gate, I pearled in and let him close it before we began. I assumed he was ready to come up and covered his entire top base with cobwebs using my spider trail. Not very effective this time though. Fuck this. I'd rather be in the drop down. I pearled through the first layer and noticed that they left some blocks open. I went full invis and pearled into the main base. Right as I did, the bard dug down and I got on him. This was my only chance to make them raidable, so I had to chase him everywhere. And sadly, yeah. I thought I was still able to do something, so I probed through the same layer again, but when I noticed they blocked everything up, I asked to drop. I actually wasn't trying to scum these guys, but I guess they were. That bard was pissed after I violated him. Same pigeons as earlier in the video, just at a different base. I let him know it was me though. I don't know why I chased down, I was just feeling confident. The sound of those blocks being placed super fast is so fucking annoying. And he got out too. Here, I screwed myself over. He was standing far back, so I spammed my pearl thinking there would be room for it to land in there with him. I accidentally glitched out of his base though, and instantly ran back in. He wasn't escaping this time. I clogged his inventory and he was done for. He also had good armor, P2. But looking at the loot in his chests, it made me want to look for a secret chest because this wasn't adding up. He was pretty broken to the chests, but he had a lot of loot in his inventory. I gave up after a while, and sorry for griefing your base, my man. And that is how I'm going to end off the How I Play HCF series. If you watched all 4 videos, I really appreciate you because these videos were not in the same style I usually do. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe before you go. It'd really make my day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace out.